Google phones from Nexus to Pixel was the most unique and special phones ever with the simplest experience. Now we have Pixel 7 Pro here, the latest child of this family. Let's review. From the beginning, you can see and you can feel this phone is made to be a Google Knight in build quality, software experience, camera quality, and lots of other things. Before starting the review, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and ring the bell icon beside it. Build quality of this phone is amazing. It has aluminum alloy frame and the glass sandwich design, which is nice, but I prefer matte glass instead of glossy. But it is fine if you have a case on your phone. I only use my phones with case because phones are expensive in Iran, unfortunately. And I think this is a good design. I can like it. I prefer non-edge design display. This has a edge design. You can buy a Pixel 7 without edge, but it is a slight edge. It is not that much of a curve on the sides, and I think I can live with that. On the back and front, it has Gorilla Glass Victus protection, which is nice, but I should recommend you to use a case, whatever it is, because it has a fingerprint magnet back, and I don't like fingerprint and dust showing themselves to my eyes. I hate them. This phone is pretty in my eyes, but the dirt on the camera housing and lots of other things about this phone is make me sick. Because of that, I prefer using a skin or a case on this phone. On the right side, we have a power button, volume button, and 3 antenna lines. It has a stereo speaker. Its speakers are amazing. I think this is one of the best speakers you can find on a phone. It has no branding like Xiaomi that said Harman Kardon all over the phone. But I think it is better than Xiaomi 12 that I've worked with. Overall, I think this is one of the best looking phones that everyone will recognize that it's a Pixel phone. There is no other phones with design in the market, and this is, I think, the most easily recognizable phone on the market. I can give it an 8 out of 10 score on the build quality for this phone. This is one of the best looking phones, I think. It is my style, it is my type. Lots of people I've seen was, what is this phone? Why it is so different? This is ugly. But I like this design, especially with Ninja Turtles D-brand skin. On the display side, it has a 6.7-inch display. It's a tall screen, so it's easier to hold it in the hand. It is a hand-friendly design, a lot more handy than iPhone 14 Pro Max. And I like using this phone. I prefer smaller phones like Pixel 7 or Asus Zenfone 9. But if you want a 5x telephoto camera, you need to have a bigger phone. And it is what it is. You can't have this camera system, this battery life, and this screen on a small phone like Pixel 7. The screen resolution is 1440p at 120 Hz. It's an LTPO screen. From 10 Hz to 120 Hz. You can feel this 10 Hz to 120 Hz in scrolling, like in scrolling to Twitter. Your scrolling in your like something like Twitter app will depend on how you are moving your finger, not a solid 120 Hz that I had on my OnePlus 9. And it is one of the best experiences you can have on a phone because it feels natural, and I prefer this scrolling. I think I can give it an 8 out of 10 score for the screen. I took 2 scores because this screen is an edge screen and I hate edge. This is a slight edge, a slight curve on the side, but I prefer flat design over this. Also, there is a hole punch for the camera, and this is a good camera. I will talk about it in the camera section. Camera systems on Google phones was the main selling point of Pixels. I think this is the best camera system for photo capturing. I compared it to an iPhone 14 Pro, and I think this is a much better and reliable camera system for photography, especially in the dark, over the iPhone 14 Pro. I preferred the shadows and the lights in the dark on this phone over the iPhone 14 Pro. If you want to see Pixel 7 Pro versus iPhone 14 Pro comparison, you can subscribe to our channel so you don't miss that video. Camera hardware on this phone is, I think, one of the best camera hardwares. There is a 50 megapixel wide or main camera on this phone, 12 megapixel ultra wide, which is okay, it works. It has a autofocus, which means it has macro photography support on it, and it has an amazing 5x telephoto 48 megapixel camera, which is nice. I really loved using it, and the telephoto here on this phone is one of the best telephotos I've ever seen. It has the same technology as iPhone 14 Pro, which was if you shoot a photo on 2x, you can see your photo is a cropped 12 megapixel from your main camera. And if you take a photo in your 10x, it will take a 12 megapixel crop from your 5x telephoto, which is insane. You can have an insane quality for your zooms in this phone, and some other reviewers said they prefer the quality of the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. I prefer it too, it has more details, but I prefer the pixel look over Samsung. So I think I will go with this. Photos are great. I've never seen a camera this good in the dark. All of the photos you are seeing are in the dark coffee shop, and I think it's the best camera system for photography. I really enjoyed and I really preferred it over the iPhone 14 Pro, but where it's holding you up is in the video side. Videos are good, don't get me wrong, but it falls behind the iPhone 14 Pro. iPhone is in another level when you go to videography, and because of that, the most reliable camera system on a phone, I think, still is iPhone 14 Pro. It has a good consistency in color correction and some other things in color and photo quality in its ultra wide and telephoto cameras, but it falls behind a little bit from the iPhone 14 Pro, and you can feel it that iPhone is a better camera for videography over the Pixel, especially in something like cinematic mode. One of the reasons is because iPhone has a LiDAR sensor and Pixel doesn't, and this is one of the problems here. If Google added LiDAR on the Pixel 8 Pro, we can see a better overall experience on the Pixel than iPhone, but iPhone will improve in the next year too. So we should see how the competition goes. I think on the camera system I can give it a 9 out of 10 because of something like lagging in the camera system and also the videography. It is not that big of a deal. I bought this phone myself and I think this is fine. 9 out of 10 is good for it. If we give iPhone 14 Pro a 10 out of 10, this is 9 out of 10. What about software experience? All we heard about Pixels are the software experience. Yes, this is a different phone. When you use this software, when you open your lock screen and go to this phone, when you use your camera, when you go to settings, everywhere you go, you can feel there is something different on this phone. And this is the software experience. I always skip to buy a Pixel. The first year it was because they skipped the ultra wide lens over the telephoto on the Pixel 4, and also Pixel 4 had only 4 GB of RAM. The next year Pixel 5 had a Snapdragon 778 or 765, I think 765, and I had problem with that because it was a mid-range chipset at $800, which is insane. And the next year, Pixel 6 had a lot of bugs because it was the first try for Google to have their own chipset, and I will talk about chipset later. But this year, something changed. Google made its tests and took every lesson they can, and they made the best phone they can. And I think this is the best phone this year. I really enjoyed using it. Overall, I think I can give it a 10 out of 10 on the software experience. This is the software I wanted to have. I never seen a software this good ever since I left my Lumia 950 XL on any Android phone. I was giving up. I was ready to buy an iPhone 14 Pro, but because of problems in Iran, I couldn't buy it, and here I am with a Pixel 7 Pro, and I'm really happy to buy this phone because I can't take limitations on iPhone and also the idiotness of lightning port on a phone. This year Google made Tensor G2 for their Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro phones. It is fine. It is the same architecture from last year at 5 nanometer, and it has a better graphic quality, almost to 15%, and it works. It is not as fast as 8 Plus Gen 1, Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, but this is enough. I don't play too much games on my phone. I always play on my laptop. Mobile games are not my type. I hate mobile games, and I think this is fine, and this is enough for a phone. All I want is a good battery life. This one has good camera. This is one of the best cameras in the market, and good software experience. That I think this is the best Android and overall smartphone experience I've ever seen. And Tensor G1, even it's not the most powerful chipset on the market, it is enough for me. My only problem with this chipset is this is made from Samsung, and Samsung chipsets are known for overheating issues. All of the chips from Samsung has overheating issues, and this phone is one of them. It has overheating issues. This is winter, outside temperature is 0 or minus in Tehran, and this phone has overheating issues. I don't know how I can deal with it in the summer at 40 degrees Celsius, but I should live with it. I have no choice. I hope Google leaves Samsung for TSMC for the next year, and you should keep your phone cool and not play too much games on it. It has overheating issues mostly when you are on your data and you are using your data to download or upload something, and in the camera department or something else, this is not much of a overheating issue. It's almost when you are using your mobile data. If you are on your Wi-Fi, you have less overheating issues. On the chipset side, because of its AI, because of its power for AI, I think I can't give it lower than 8 out of 10 for it. This is not the most powerful, but the most pleasing phone to use. We can give it an 8 because of the not powerful enough for gamers. I took 2 scores, but this is fine. It has good image processing for your camera system, and it has enough power, nice AI power. It's an 8 out of 10. Google made this phone with 5000 mAh battery. This is fine. It can work for me. But the problem here, it has a 23-watt wire charging. Why? I don't know. Maybe because of chipset limitations, maybe. But it has 23-watt wireless charging too. This is fine. We can do with that. We can live with that. There is reverse wireless charging too. You can charge other devices with this phone. This is almost a good battery experience. I prefer at least 30 watts, but this is 23. My last phone was 65 watts. I hate to say it, but I can give it more than 6 out of 10 for battery department. Sorry Google, you made it wrong here. And For the overall experience, I really love this phone, and I think this is the best Android phone you can buy right now. Maybe over the next months, Galaxy S23 series with OnePlus 11 and Xiaomi 13 on the market, you can skip this phone, but I still prefer this phone because I prefer software experience over power, and this is what Pixel's made for. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like our video and subscribe to our channel. If you have any opinion about this phone, about our video, please consider commenting on this video. Thank you.